I'm Mark.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Barbara.
I'm Robert.
And together, we're the Sharks.
I'm really Mr. Wonderful, though.
In this video, we look at the Shark Tank investors then and now. What really makes the Shark Tank loved by everyone is the investors. The ones who you know are successful and you know can make good judgment calls. But where are the investors on Shark Tank today? Allow us to show you Shark Tank investors then and now. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 7. Mark Cuban. Considering that this is about the investors, why don't we go and start with the one that most people know by heart in terms of why they're famous? Yes, we speak of the one and only Mark Cuban. Mark is a billionaire businessman, investor, and owner of the NBA's Dallas Mavericks. He's also a best-selling author of the book How to Win at the Sport of Business. His life may not have started out successful as he had to bounce from one job to another and try out various things, but he soon became worth a lot and has invested in all sorts of businesses over the years. Mark is also the chairman of AXS TV and co-owns Landmark Theater, Magnolia Pictures, and Magnolia Home Video. And that's just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what he owns and is a part of. According to Forbes, Mark has an estimated net worth of $4.2 billion, far more than most of the other sharks on the show. You might think that his road to success was perfect and easy, but it wasn't. "I had quit or been fired from 3 straight jobs," he said on an episode of Shark Tank one time, and that's definitely not what you would have expected from someone like Cuban. But it's true, and he's proud of his journey, because he can honestly say he's done this on his own with his own skills and savvy, which of course makes him perfect for Shark Tank. Shark Tank helped him to get the level he wanted to be at in terms of exposure, and further proving that he's a genius at business and understands the value of most things, which he's proven with many people who have sought his investment on the show. He plays it fair, says what's on his mind, and if he tries to invest in your product, you know he sees something worth investing in. Number 6. Kevin OLeary. Kevin launched SoftKey software products from his basement and eventually sold it to the Mattel toy company for $4.2 billion in 1999. He's afterward gone and done ventures like OShares ETFs, OLeary Financial Group, and OLeary Wines, all of which are incredibly successful in their own ways and have even been referenced multiple times on Shark Tank. Fellow shark Barbara coined his nickname during the first season, when she sarcastically said, "Well, aren't you Mr. Wonderful?" But Kevin says his signature harsh demeanor on the show is rooted in good intentions. "If they can't take a guy like me, then they're not ready," he says. That is a bit harsh, but he's usually smart when it comes to the business he invests in and the deals he makes. For example, one time he bought a muffin making and shipping service and said he would take a cut of every muffin sold. It made him millions doing that. So while he is absolutely rough around the edges, he's still someone to respect in terms of business savvy, despite his sometimes controversial nature. Yeah, if you look into him, you'll see that he's honestly a bit of a jerk when it comes to his time off Shark Tank, but don't let that fool you. His business mind is sharp. Even if it's a bit temperamental with certain inventors who come into the tank, he's still very active, including on his own YouTube channel. Number 5. Lori Greiner. Lori Greiner is a shark whom many people know because of where they see her all the time, QVC, and her story is one that no doubt inspires many who hear it. Her career started off with a plastic earring organizer JCPenney picked up, and it all grew from there, believe it or not. Greiner has patented consumer products in other categories such as cosmetic organization, jewelry storage, travel, electronics, and household items. After her success with JCPenney, Greiner expanded her company with her product appearing on Home Shopping Network and in the retail store Bed Bath & Beyond. Shortly afterwards, she transitioned to QVC, and in 2000, she launched Clever and Unique Creations, one of the longest-running shows on the network. And it was here that her fame truly skyrocketed enough to land on a certain show. Because in 2012, Greiner joined Shark Tank. A few years later, she invested in Scrub Daddy, and it was regarded as one of the biggest successes in Shark Tank history. So yeah, she knows how to see value in items, especially when they're ones that she can really get her hands on to promote. You could argue that she is one of the best sharks of the bunch, not just because she knows what to invest in, but she already has a marketplace to sell the items in, as she's the queen of QVC. That's an inherent value that you can't ignore, and many who come onto Shark Tank know that. Number 4. Damond John. Damon John's story of business is absolutely one of perseverance and not giving up when you know you have a good idea. John started his company FUBU in his mother's house in Hollis, Queens. When John first had the idea for a clothing company for young men, his mother taught him how to sew and supported him by allowing her house to be taken over to grow the business. Her support would be vital in the times to come. They sold their homemade hats for $10 each on the corner of Jamaica Avenue and made $800 in a single day in 1992. After the hats, they began selling screen-printed t-shirts, already showing that they knew how to grow the business and not just rely on one thing. Eventually, they began sewing the FUBU logo onto hockey jerseys, sweatshirts, and t-shirts. They loaned about 10 of the hockey jerseys out to rappers for their music videos for 2 years, and got product placement in about 30 videos. Which, if you think about it, is great marketing, because many young people want to go and mimic the looks of those they see in things like music videos. And the best one was to come. In 1993, he convinced LL Cool J, an old neighborhood friend, to wear a FUBU t-shirt for a promotional campaign. Later, while filming a 30-second advertising spot for The Gap, LL Cool J wore a FUBU hat in the commercial and incorporated the line, "For us, by us," in his rapping.
Gritty, ready to go, for us, by us, on the low. G, that's for getting the A for always. P, that's for power and the people that praise. Backwards, P for popular, A for attitude. G, get it going, daddy, Gap is on the move.
FUBU has earned over $6 billion in global sales, making him more than qualified to show up on Shark Tank. And when he is on the show, he knows not just what to invest in, but how to make those businesses grow, including going and taking certain products he bought and growing them by millions over the course of time. He knows how to put in the work, and that's why he should be appreciated. Number 3. Barbara Corcoran. At 23, Barbara quit her job as a waitress and borrowed $1,000 to start a tiny real estate company in New York City. She ultimately transformed the Corcoran Group into the largest and best-known brand in the business before selling it for $66 million. Barbara is also the author of the best-selling book, Shark Tales: How I Turned $1,000 into a billion-dollar business. You can't help but respect the work she's put in, and how she's trying to help others. Number 2. Robert Herjavec. Robert made his fortune in the digital security industry and has built and sold several IT companies, including Brack Systems. Robert is a savvy man when it comes to business, but he's also made mistakes on the show that he's admitted and corrected. Like one time when a person offered a much better flower delivery service, and Robert wasn't having it. That is, until he was the one getting married and he realized that the flowers he was trying to get were overpriced and likely to not be delivered in the best quality. He's also not afraid to call out other investors like Mr. Wonderful for giving their potential clients bad advice. Number 1. Alex Rodriguez. Alex is a former Major League Baseball player and the founder of A-Rod Corp., a real estate and investment group. He may be one of the most infamous members of the Shark Tank panel, but his name does carry weight regardless of what you felt about his time in Major League Baseball. And despite the controversy attached to him, he's gone and made a name for himself in various ways, as you can guess. And he is savvy when it comes to business and the potential that is there for those who want to strike it big with their own idea. Who is your favorite investor on Shark Tank? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.